the electric field intensity due to uniformly charged infinitely plane sheet, right? So we have taken a very thin sheet, that is a transparent sheet, right? So in that sheet the positive charges has been enclosed. Okay, so to find the electric field at any point either side on the plane sheet, so what we are going to do is we are going to consider a cylindrical Gaussian surface. So where like you are going to place the sheet in between the cylindrical surface. Okay, so as you can see there, the first part is towards the right hand and the second part is towards the left hand. So first part is considered to be as the first part and the left part is considered to be as the second part and the curved surface is considered to be as third part. Okay, in order to find the electric field intensity at point P at first part, so what we have done is we have taken a small element. As you know that the area vector will be perpendicular to the surface. Okay, so the area element will be directed towards the right, normal to the surface, that is a small element. So since the positive charges has been enclosed in that sheet, so electric field will be away from the sheet, right? So even that will be along the direction of the area vector itself. So the angle between ds and vector e, ds vector and vector e will be nothing but equal to 0. Similarly, when you take the second part, when you take the second part, what happens? The area vector will be directed towards the left, and similarly, the electric field will be directed away from the surface, that is towards the left side. So the angle between vector E and vector ds is nothing but equal to 0, right? Coming to the third part, as you know that we have taken a small element in the third part, so the area vector should be always normal to the part what we have taken, that is perpendicular to the surface. So ds vector will be directed upward, whereas the electric field will be directed towards the right. Okay, so the angle between vector e and vector ds will be nothing but equal to 90 degree. So as you know that we have a first of all we have taken a charge enclosed by a Gaussian surface is written in terms of q is equal to sigma into s. Just we have taken the surface charge density formula, that is equation, that is sigma is equal to q by s. So if you take q on the left hand side, so that comes out to be q is equal to sigma into s, right? So next, Gauss law equation is nothing but written as the equation 1 what you are seeing. Okay, so that is nothing but the integral of vector e dot vector ds is equal to q by epsilon naught is equal to sigma s divided by epsilon naught. Okay, so next what happens is uh, that is nothing but equal to sigma s divided by epsilon naught we are written. So same thing should be applied to the all the three parts. Okay, so applying the same thing to the all the three parts, the equation 1 can be written as vector e dot vector ds is equal to integral of first part vector e dot vector ds plus integral of second part vector e dot vector ds plus integral of third part vector e dot vector ds, that is nothing but equal to sigma s divided by epsilon naught. Okay, so next, as you know that the angle between for the third surface vector e and vector ds, the angle is 90 degree. So cos 90 is nothing but equal to 0, right? So leaving that third part, we are going to consider only the first two parts. Okay, so the equation 2 can be written as vector e dot vector ds plus integral of second part vector e dot vector ds is equal to sigma s divided by epsilon naught. So since vector e dot vector ds is a dot product, so it can be expressed in terms of cos, right? So the angle between vector d and vector ds in first part and second part is nothing but equal to 0. So if that is the case, you can write the equation 1 and the same thing can be expressed in terms of cos. So integral of first part eds cos 0 degree plus integral of second part eds cos 0 degree is equal to sigma s divided by epsilon naught. Okay, so since cos 0 is equal to 1, so that can be written as integral of 1 first part eds plus integral of second part eds is equal to sigma s divided by epsilon naught. Okay, so uh, since the electric field at each point is constant, at every point is constant, so what we are going to do is we are going to integrate that ds. Okay, integration of dx is nothing but it is x, right? So similarly, when you integrate the ds, you're going to get s here. Okay, so the next line, e integral of first part ds plus e integral of second part ds is equal to sigma s divided by epsilon naught, or it can be written as es plus es is equal to sigma s divided by epsilon naught. That is nothing but 2 es is equal to sigma s divided by epsilon naught. So e is equal to sigma divided by 2 epsilon naught. Okay, so this is regarding the electric field at any point. Okay. So this is the final expression what we have got, right? So e is equal to sigma divided by 2 epsilon naught. Okay, in terms of vector form, we are going to write vector e is equal to sigma divided by 2 epsilon naught into n cap, right? So this is the expression for electric field intensity due to a uniformly charged infinite plane sheet. So the next case is nothing but we are going to take a sheet which is of finite thickness. Okay, so in that case what we are going to do is we are going to consider that one as the two separate sheets. So in that case what happens, we are going to write, we are going to express that one as 2 es is equal to 2 sigma s divided by epsilon naught. That is nothing but equal to e and e get s and s get cancels, 2 and 2 get cancels. The left out thing is e is equal to sigma divided by epsilon naught. Okay, so this is the expression for when you take a sheet of which has the finite thickness. Okay, so next, coming to the electric field intensity due to a uniformly charged thin spherical shell. Okay, so in this we have three cases. That is nothing but, first case is nothing but at a point outside the shell. Okay, first we are going to take a shell. In that what we are going to do is we are going to find the electric field intensity outside the shell. So the next case is nothing but it is regarding finding the electric field on the point of the shell. Okay, on the surface of the shell. Next case is you need to find the electric field intensity inside the shell. Okay, so these are the three cases. So as I said in the last class itself, so this derivation, that is first case what we are discussing. Okay, so it will be asked for 5 marks. Okay, so I think even we discussed this about, I mean, this derivation in the last class itself. So let us have a look once. So see, first of all we took a spherical shell which is having a radius of capital R. So you know that the charges has been placed on the surface of the spherical shell. Okay, so next what we need to do is we need to calculate the electric field outside the spherical shell. Okay, so let us say that point P is a point. Okay, P is a point where we need to calculate the electric field. So that in order to calculate the electric field at point P, what we are going to do is we are going to consider a Gaussian surface. So that Gaussian surface is nothing but it will be in the form of spherical. Okay, so on the point at the point P itself, we are going to draw a Gaussian surface. As you can see in the figure, the dotted line. Okay, the spherical shell which is given in a dotted line is a Gaussian spherical surface which is taken on the point P itself. Okay, so next let us say that small r is the radius of that Gaussian surface. Okay, so hence we say that small r is greater than capital R. So at the point P, what I am going to do is I'll take a small element. Okay, that is ds. So as you know that the area vector should be normal to a given surface. So vector ds will be towards the right. The direction of vector ds will be towards the right. Okay, so in that case what we are going to do is uh, just a minute. Okay, so in that case, next what we are going to do is, since the spherical shell, the charges which is on the spherical shell is a positive charge, what we are going to do is we are going to take a, I mean, the direction of electric field will be away from the spherical shell. So it will be same along the direction of area vector. Okay, so hence you can see that the angle between vector E and vector ds is nothing but equal to 0 degree. Okay, so the same thing has been applied. So according to Gauss law, as we know that integral of vector ds, vector E dot vector ds is equal to q by epsilon naught. Okay. So next case is nothing but the dot product is expressed in terms of cos. So vector E ds cos theta is equal to q divided by epsilon naught. So next, in the next line, we are going to substitute the value of theta. So the value of theta between vector E dot vector ds, vector E into vector ds is nothing but equal to 0 degree. So that comes out to be, when you substitute, so that comes out to be as, since cos 0 is nothing but equal to 1. So we can write the equation as integral of E ds is equal to q divided by epsilon naught. So now next what we are going to do is, we are going to integrate that small element ds. Okay, why we are going to integrate that small element ds? Because when you integrate that small ds, you are going to get the electric field, okay, through that whole Gaussian surface due to the charge enclosed on that spherical shell. Okay, due to that inside spherical shell. So that is why we are going to integrate the ds. So next line will be E integral of ds is equal to q divided by epsilon naught. So when you integrate the ds can be written as the surface area of the spherical shell. So this surface area of the spherical shell is nothing but equal to 4 pi r square. So it is a known formula, right? 4 pi r square we are going to substitute in the place of ds. So when you substitute that, you are going to get E is equal to 4 pi r square is equal to q divided by epsilon naught, or if you send that 4 pi r square on the right side, to the right side, so equation comes out to be E is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into q divided by r square. Okay, so in the vector form you can write that one as vector E is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into q divided by r square into r cap. So where r cap is nothing but it will be along this direction. Okay, along the direction of ds itself. Okay, so this is regarding the electric field at a point outside the spherical shell. Okay, I think till here we discussed in the last class. So in case if you have any doubts, please let me know so that I can clear your doubts. Any doubts, please do ask. Or else in case if you have, I mean, in case if you have, if you don't have any doubts, so that we will move to the next two cases. So please do reply in case if I have any doubts. Okay, Meghana, no doubts. What about others? Yes, Arshita, V. Okay, fine. What about Martin? Yes, Martin, do you have any doubt? I think after a long time I'm seeing you. Yes, Martin, I didn't get a reply from you. Martin, Pratap. Okay, fine. I didn't get a reply from Martin and Pratap. Okay. So I'll just get back to you after the class. Okay. Okay, Pratap, fine. So I didn't get a reply from Martin. It's okay, fine. I'll talk to you after the class. Okay, next it is regarding about the at a point on the surface of the shell. So see here, first of all we have taken a spherical shell. Okay, spherical shell whose radius is capital R. So here I'll just draw on the screen itself to make it a little bit easy. So what we have done is we have taken a spherical shell. Okay, so let us say that the charges has been placed on the spherical shell. So now what I need to do is, yes, let us say that capital R is the radius of this spherical shell. So now I need to find the electric field on the surface of this spherical shell. Okay, So on the surface I need to make a, I need to mark a point. Okay, so P is a point where I need to calculate the electric field intensity, that is on the surface. So in order to calculate the electric field on the surface, what I'm going to do is the same thing we need to consider, that is the Gaussian surface. Okay, what type of Gaussian surface? Even it should be a spherical Gaussian surface. So now we are going to consider a small, we are going to consider a spherical Gaussian surface, and we are going to draw on the on that point itself where we need to find the electric field. So where is the point P situated? It is on the surface of this spherical shell whose radius is equal to capital R. So now I need to calculate the electric field at point P. So I need to draw a Gaussian surface. So I need to draw the Gaussian surface on that spherical shell itself. Okay. So it will be not visible, right? So even if I write the Gaussian surface on that spherical shell itself, but you need to assume like that. Okay, so in order to calculate the electric field at the point on the surface of the spherical shell whose radius is r, you need to draw a Gaussian surface on that surface itself. So we are going to draw a spherical shell on that surface itself. Okay, so hence we write, if this is the case, we are going to write where small r is nothing but what? It is the radius of the Gaussian surface, spherical Gaussian surface. So in this case, what happens? Small r will be nothing but equal to capital R. Okay, right? So since we have drawn the Gaussian surface on the spherical shell itself, so hence the radius of Gaussian surface will be nothing but equal to the radius of that spherical surface whose radius is capital R. So with this thing, we need to calculate. So the same thing you can see in this figure here. Okay, so that is what they have given. See here, small r is equal to capital R. Okay, so in order to find the electric field intensity at point P, the one and the same thing what we have done is we have taken a small area element, so that area vector will be directed normal to the surface, that is towards the right. Similarly, the charges are positive charges, so the electric field will be directed towards the right. So the angle between them is nothing but equal to 0 degree. So hence cos 0 is nothing but equal to 1. Okay, so it is almost the final expression is same as that of the what we have studied in the last case. Okay, only thing is we are going to replace small r squared by capital R square. So you can see in the previous case, the expression, just go through the expression, it is nothing but E is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon into q divided by r square, right? So this was the expression, final expression of previous case. So in this case, what I'm going to do is just I'm going to replace that small r by capital R. Since small r is equal to capital R here, in this case I'm just going to replace that small r by capital R. So the hence the final expression comes out to be E is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon into q divided by capital R square. Okay, so rest of the thing is nothing but mathematics they have done. So you can see in the next line they have given q is equal to sigma into 4 pi r square. Okay, so what is the meaning of that? Since you know that the surface charge density is nothing but equal to sigma is equal to q divided by s, where s is nothing but what? Surface area, right? So surface area of a spherical shell is nothing but equal to what? 4 pi r square, right? So when you take that q on the left hand side, you are going to get q is equal to sigma into r. So right, sigma into s. So in the place of s, we have substituted the value of 4 pi r square. So when you substitute this value of q in this equation, so what happens? That equation gets reduces to this: 1 e is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon into q into sigma, 1 by 4 pi epsilon into sigma into 4 pi r square divided by r square. So you can see there 4 pi r square get cancelled. The left out thing is nothing but equal to E is equal to sigma by epsilon naught. Okay, so this is the expression. Okay, so this is regarding the at a point on the surface of the shell. Okay, expression. So next case, the last one. Okay, the last case of this chapter, at a point inside the shell. Okay, so see here, first of all, the same thing what we had done is we have taken a spherical shell with radius capital R. So as you know that the charges has been placed on the surface of the spherical shell whose radius r. So now what we are going to do is we need to calculate the electric field intensity inside the surface. Okay, inside the surface. So what I'm going to do is, let us say that I need to calculate the electric field at this point, at the center of the spherical shell. So again the same thing, we need to calculate the, we need to draw a Gaussian surface. So I'm going to draw a Gaussian surface inside here. Okay, so let me take this radius as r dash. Okay, so the radius of that Gaussian surface is nothing but equal to r dash. Okay, again the same thing. Okay, we are going to take a area element and we are going to area element is nothing but when you take a small area element in that Gaussian surface, so what happens, the area element will be directed towards the right. Correct. So just a minute. While explaining, I said that we are going to find the electric field at the center of this spherical shell, right? So sorry, it should be on the surface of the Gaussian surface. Okay, just a minute. See you. So this is the spherical shell. Okay, which is of radius r. R is the radius of the spherical. Let me say that I need to calculate the electric field at this point. Okay, so in order to find the electric field at this point, I'll just mark it that one as P here. Okay, this is the point. So in order to find the electric field at that point P, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a Gaussian surface on that point itself. So now we need to calculate the electric field at this point, on the point which is on the Gaussian surface. Okay, and as we know that the radius of this Gaussian surface comes out to be r dash. So now in order to calculate the electric field at that point P, what we are going to do is we are going to take a small area element where the direction of that will be nothing but it will be towards the right side, that is normal to the surface, that is vector ds. Okay, so next, can you tell me what will be the direction of electric field, in which direction it will be, direction of electric field, anyone? Direction of electric field will be in which direction? Towards the right, in the upward direction, or towards the right, left, or towards the down? Direction of electric field. Yes, anyone? The direction of electric field. Electric field will be in which direction? Is it towards the right? Gokul Bhaskar, right. Towards the right. Okay. Just a minute. What about Harshita? Harshita, Meghana, Rakshita, Kiran? Direction of electric field will be towards, towards, yeah, reply. Towards which direction? Rakshita, towards the right. Okay, fine. Okay, I did get the answer from these people. Okay, Harshita. Okay, Harshita. Then Pratap. Okay, fine. Harshita, towards negative. Towards negative. Okay, fine. The answer what you people gave is wrong. Okay. See, we are calculating the electric field at a point P, right? Correct. So, what is the charge enclosed by that Gaussian surface? Charge enclosed by the Gaussian surface is nothing but equal to 0, right? Do you have the charges inside that spherical shell? Do you have? No, right? No charge. So that means that, see here, you don't have any charges, so q is nothing but equal to 0. So if you substitute the value of q is equal to 0 in the Gauss theorem, that is this equation, so the electric field comes out to be E is equal to 0. Okay, so hence it is understood that if the surface, okay, if the conductor encloses no charge, what is the meaning? The electric field is 0, no electric field in that case. So as you know that the Gaussian surface doesn't encloses any charge inside it, so the electric field comes out to be 0. Okay, charge 0, so electric field also 0. So this is regarding the third case. Okay. Is it fine about all the three cases? Outside the surface, on the surface, and inside the spherical shell. So with this, I think we have completed the chapter electric field and charges. Okay. So coming to that last topic, okay, that is a variation of electric field intensity with the distance r from the center O of the charged spherical shell. Okay, so see here, this thing I'm going to explain. This is extra information what I'm saying. Okay, see in this figure, as you know that just we are going to draw a graph of electric field versus distance. Okay, electric field versus r is nothing but what? It is the radius of the Gaussian surface, right? Or we can simply say that it is nothing but the distance, right? So we are going to draw electric field graph of electric field versus r. Okay, in that case you can see that when at sorry, at the first case, okay, so when does this electric field will be maximum according to you? Just go through all the three cases, case A, case B, case C. Okay, and tell me in which case the electric field will be maximum according to you. So if you give that answer, it will be easy to get the result. I mean, to understand this graph easily, you can understand this graph easily if you get that answer. Okay, fine. I think you didn't get. I think. Okay. So see here, just I'm going to show you. See, you have three cases, right? So the first case what we have taken is small r is lesser than capital R. In which case it is that in the third case, right? You can see in the figure itself the radius of small r. Okay, the radius of small r is lesser than the radius of capital R, right? So hence we have taken small r is lesser than capital R. So that is the third case. So the electric field will be nothing but what? It will be nothing but equal to 0. So the next two cases, when small r is equal to capital R, right? In that case, what happens? So E is nothing but equal to maximum. Okay, in this second case, right? In this case B here, okay, when small r is equal to capital R, what happens? The value of that E comes out to be Q divided by epsilon naught, that is maximum. Coming to the third case, what happens? E is proportional to 1 by r square, that is inversely proportional. What does it mean? Okay, what does it mean? As you go away from the charge, the electric field keeps on decreasing, right? So hence you can say that here at this point where you are seeing the maximum line, that is the case where at this case when small r is equal to capital R, the electric field will be maximum. The next case is nothing but the third case. E is inversely proportional to 1 by r square. So as you go away, as the r value keeps on increasing, you can see that the electric field is keeps on decreasing, right? So this is the variation of the electric field. It is decreasing. So next for the third case, you can see it almost touches the x-axis. That means that the value becomes, the electric field value becomes 0 for the third case. So this is the variation of electric field with respect to the distance r. Okay, I think this will be useful for your CET classes. Okay, I think once you go for CET classes, you will come to know these things. Okay, so what I said is this thing is a additional information. Okay, so I think with this thing we have completed the chapter electric field and charges. Okay, uh, do you have any doubts regarding the topics which we have discussed today? In case if you have any doubts, please let me know so that it will be easy to me to clarify your doubts. Okay, Nikhil, no sir. What about others? Have you understood? Okay, fine, Sneha. Okay, so see you. Let me do one thing. So since we have left out with the class is, I mean, the class ends up at 11:45, right? So still we have 7 minutes. So we will do one thing. So I'll just say what are the things it is important. What are the important things should be remembered for you people from the point of examination. So here, first of all, they are going to ask about uh, okay, they may ask any one of the method charging a body by any one of the method, either by induction or conduction. Okay, just go through about that. Next, the basic properties of electric field charges. Okay, basic properties of electric charges is important. Just go through about that. Even quantization of charges is important. Go through about that. So next, as I said, Coulomb's law is important. Okay, so Coulomb's law, they may ask the statement or they may ask the equation. Okay, so coming to the next, Coulomb's law in vector form, definitely it will be a 3 marks question. They're going to ask. Just go through about that. Next, dielectric. Just go through about dielectric. What do you mean by dielectric? Definition. That is enough. Next, forces between system of charges. Okay, in case if they ask, it will be for 3 marks. Okay, it has been asked very rarely. So next, electric field. uh, I think just go through about this properties of electric field lines. Okay, properties of electric field lines, just go through about that. Next, just have a look of this electric dipole and dipole moment. Okay, electric dipole and dipole moment, there is a chances of asking for 1 mark or 2 mark. So next, coming to the 5 mark. So the axial electric field at a point on the dipole axis, so 5 marks question. So next, electric field at a point on the equatorial line, even this is a 5 mark question. Okay, so next, polar molecule, non-polar molecule, I think it will be for 1 marks. Okay, if they ask with an example both, it will be for 3 marks, polar and non-polar molecules with an example. Next is nothing but torque on a dipole in a uniform electric field. So this is a 3 mark question, definite question, 3 mark question. Okay, so next, area vector, I think they are not going to ask about that. Electric flux, they are going to ask for 1 marks. Just go through about that. Okay. Next, Gauss law. Just go through about the statement and equation. No need of derivation. Okay, no need to derive this. Only this much is enough. The statement and the equation is enough. Okay. So after this, yeah, this one, application of Gauss law. This is very very important. That is regarding the uniformly charged wire. This is definitely a 5 mark question. Next, even this is a important plane sheet. Even this is an important 5 mark question. Apart from that, the last, that is the case A, that is the electric field outside the spherical shell is important. Okay, only the case A is important. They are not going to ask case B and case C. Okay, so these are the things which you are going to, possible questions which you are going to get in your examination. Okay, I think I have made it clear, the 1 mark question, 2 mark question, 3 mark question and 5 mark question to you people, right, from this chapter. Just please go through. I think within shortly we will have a test. Okay, we will have a test on this chapter itself. Just I'll let you Okay, in what format you need to, I mean, in what format we are conducting the test. Okay, I'll let you, but shortly you will be having a test on this chapter. Okay, just please go through about this chapter carefully. So in case if you have any doubts, please let me know in the next class. Okay. Okay, I'm getting a message. Gokul Bhaskar, which chapter, sir? So chapter is this itself, electric field. The test will be on this electric field chapter itself. Okay, so just go through about this chapter very carefully, so that uh, shortly we will have a test. Okay, so with this thing we will conclude today's class. Okay. Okay, students, with this thing I'm concluding today's class. So please have a practice of writing the derivation, which I said important. Okay, just practice by writing itself. Don't mug up, or don't just go through the derivation like that itself. Okay, it doesn't work out. Make a practice. Please write twice, thrice. Okay, then only it will be easy for you to remember. Okay, with this thing I'll conclude. Okay, students, thank you.